How do we begin? Analyzing song intros, and we're back with Squarepusher, Hard Normal Daddy this time around. Gonna kick it off with Cooper's World. It's playing. Let's get it back to the beginning so we can pick apart the intro, see how it's made. And we get the chords there. Bumpa, yeah. We have the hi-hats going. We have the bass going. I'm gonna say the drums are hi-hats only. Kind of building up that tension. There we go, a little, bring it in. But we're past the 10-second mark now. It's part of the intro still, but not really, the outset that we're taking a look at proper. I think we pretty much nailed it on that one, though. Yeah, let's move on to Beep Street. Drums. I hear him. Gonna be all drums, ain't it? It is indeed. A little drum solo. Then what? I think kind of everything comes in after that. But, yeah. All bass only at first. That's pretty much it, though. We're way past our quota, so let's go on to Rustic Raver. Nice break there. Time stretching. Distorted. Breakbeat. So it's different. The first one was more jazzy, and I'm going to update that one just to distinguish it, just so we see what's going on here, because although they look the same on paper, they are quite different. You look at this, oh, drums. One's jazzy and, kind of building up. This one is just like a distorted breakbeat workout. Really nice. And that bass line comes in heavy a little later on. All right. Moving on to Analog D9. Cool. Short song here, but really nice, deep chords. Really nice depth, this. Basically just the chords and the drums. A couple layers, but that's mostly what we're working with. Let's move on to Chin Hippie. I think we're safe to call this one drums and voice. It's definitely not what you think of when you think of drums and voice, but we do have a couple tonal hits, but I'm going to say that they're part of the drums. Song's mostly drums. But yeah, the bass doesn't come in yet in the beginning, so I feel pretty good with that drum and voice. Papillon here. Next up. I like reading these as if I've never seen them before. Like, oh, what is this? Papillon. This one's very quiet. Just going to talk right through it. Honestly, not a whole lot to work with on this one. Fading up. I maxed out the volume there. We're just getting some drum smatterings. Jazzy later on, but definitely a little bit of a warm up there to get to it. Moving on now to the E8 Boogie. just really some strums. I think that, am I crazy? I think that's bass, but we're gonna call it chords. Like, I think it's a bass guitar strumming chords, just based on the context later on. Get the bass synth. We have the bass guitar there too. That's what the note's for. Strums on a bass guitar. Move on, fat controller. Interesting one. Almost inclined to slap some atmospherics on this one. Let's see if it develops. Dang, that's nice. That is nice. Yeah, I think so. We have that. It's similar to. Where was it? Dang. The big, like, reverby type hit. That's nice. Yeah, I'm gonna say atmospherics. I think that's the drums and that. It is still like a reverby type hit, but it's. Ah, man. Almost could be part of the drums. If you want. But like that little guy there coming down. That's not a drum. That's separate. And I think what we're hearing at the beginning is just kind of like a more distorted version of that. Lower, whatever you want to call it. Next one's going to be Vic Acid. Absolute classic. Almost had to swear about it. Love an easy one. That cooks. That cooks. Makes you want to just keep listening to it, but let's move on. You take the easy ones when you get them. Mail Pill Part 1313. Those sound like they could be the chords. I like this alternation we got. 1 yes, 2 no. 1 yes, 2 no. 1 yes, 2 no. This might be one of the most satisfying patterns we've seen yet. We're making a cool picture here. Those are the chords, right? Aw, yeah. All right. Rat, P's, and Q's. We're getting to it here. All right. Again, we have, or I'm going to put bass. I think we actually have two different bass elements. We have the actual low notes. Boom. But then we have ripping on the bass guitar. We have the like pizzicato, little you know, I don't know what the fuck. I mean, that's what it is. It's pizzicato. Little strums on the strings. We have some very, I don't know if I ever noticed this before. We have some chatter, like people talking in the background in the left ear. It's crazy to say, but I don't think I want to call that voice. To me, that's almost more atmospherics. In fact, call it atmospherics. It's not. We are the music makers and we are the dreamers of dreams. It's more like this is happening in a room where people are talking. And so it just so happens that the atmospherics are human voices. Again, geez, man, we get into some gray areas here. We gotta dig ourselves out of, but that's how I'm gonna call it. The refs make bad calls. You watch football and shit, dude. Psh, these bad calls are nothing on those bad calls. So tell it to the comments if you have to, but this is what we got. feel like you actually, if we really got nuts about it, you could actually hear what's being said there. It feels like it's isolated enough that listening to the left ear and cranking the volume, you could probably get there. Let me know if you know what he's saying. But I'm not going to go that deep into it right now. Don't want to blow anybody's ear bones out while I'm trying to hear that. But we got one more track, Rebus. Let's hit it. One more time. Yeah, bass comes in too. All right. Bass thumps, single note bass thumps. So here's what the note says. It says hi-hats with digital noises and some single note bass thumpities. Fuck yeah. Not two P's. That's not how you spell thumpities. It's a real word with an important spelling. And it is time to review. Let's take a look. Just like that, we love the drums here on Squarepusher Hard Normal Daddy Avenue. Jumbity, jumbity, jumbity. We took it easy a little bit towards the end, replaced those drums with some chords, but we had some pretty meaty elements in this. I only wrote big ol' fade once when it got pretty quiet. We didn't have to sit here and strain our ears trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. One voice, that was our Babadoo Bop Bop buddy from Chin Hippie. Babadoo Bop Bop, Babadoo Bop Bop. No melodies, unless you like Babadoo Bop Bop and you want to sing that around the house, you can. I put it as voice, you put it as melody. There's another bad call. Whatever. Atmospherics, it's funny how later on we kind of started to get a little bit more esoteric with it maybe. Early on it was like, here's some fucking drums, boo, but then later on started to get some of that digital noise, things like that, some statics, squeaks, bloops, and beeps, that type of thing. Thinking like maybe more chords than I would have expected here. It wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't like our last album when it was just chords aplenty. But definitely more green than I expected. Now, if we go back, kind of look at some of these past albums that we enjoyed so far in previous episodes, I don't know if we're going to see one that's just like this. I mean, a lot of drums and a lot of chords, quite a bit of bass too. I'm going to go all the way back. See, even the first one, Select the Name and It Works, 85 to 92. A lot of drums. That feels like a comparison, a lot of drums. But more chords and more bass on this one than we had, back on that one. Definitely not going to be Ochre with all the chords and not as much drums. The Mundoworld, not as much drums. Just lovely coming out with the drums. Squarepusher B, that was definitely fluent English. Thank you for asking. It was. Interestingly, Cyro has the drums and the bass. This one has the drums and the bass, but obviously completely different sounds. John Hopkins was not bringing us the bass, was not bringing us much drum, much more atmospheric. Fortet, much more atmospheric, much. Classics now going back to Rat-a-tat. Just, honestly, man, that is closer, not quite it, but orange and green being the dominant, that might be the closest comparison. Which, we have Squarepusher on that bass guitar, talk about rock influence, Rat-a-tat with the guitars. Interesting, I guess, we have that connection there. We're making connections where there never, had been connections before. But yeah, going back to Boards of Canada, a lot of green, but Boards of Canada, where Squarepusher had drums, Boards of Canada has atmosphere. Big difference there. Cool stuff, though. I'm starting to really like these comparisons coming at the end. I knew that this was just going to grow and evolve, and the real meat of this comes to analyzing kind of the comparisons more than any single song. It's fun to compare them afterwards. So thanks for joining me on this journey, and we will see you next time.